Want help to grow your business? Download Bryn, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit bryn.ai or search the App Store today.
G'day, Pete Moriarty here, and in this episode of Business in the Cloud, we're going to be covering how you can create the perfect business dashboard for your company. Now, what is a business dashboard? Well, it's going to help you to track the numbers in your business, show them visually to you and your team, and help you keep on the ball with the numbers and how they're tracking. So here's what we're going to cover in this episode. First up, what is the problem? Now, the problem is that you've got a business, you've got numbers in the business, but how do you know what are the right numbers to track? And also, how do you communicate, well, how is the business going with your team? So they know that they're incentivized for everyone to move in the right direction towards your goals using your numbers as a way of reporting and also managing your team as well. Well, a dashboard will help you to visually show those numbers and will also help show you and your team exactly how you're tracking. What that will allow you to do is measure and then manage the right numbers in your business. And a dashboard is going to help us visually show that and make sure that everyone can see it, whether they're your virtual staff or even your staff in your office as well. So here's what we're going to cover in this episode. First up, why business dashboards are important. What do you actually achieve by implementing a business dashboard and what results will you get from that as well? Next up, choosing which numbers to track. How do you know which are the right numbers to track in your business and what should you actually be looking at on a daily, weekly, and even monthly basis? Next up, how to build a do-it-yourself dashboard. What are the advantages and how you can get started very quickly and very easily doing it yourself with basic tools? Next is done for you dashboards. So these are dashboards that will give you a little bit more advanced features and some of them will be commercial options, but we're going to show you some of the ones to choose there. Next up is custom dashboards. Now, these are the ones that let you get super advanced with your dashboarding. They're probably for pro level only, but we're going to show you some examples of that. And in our last section, we're going to show you how to get started building your own dashboard so you can get started today tracking the important numbers in your business. So let's get started in today's session. So first up, why are dashboards important? Well, dashboards are important so you can track the numbers in your business and know how you're going. Also, they can be used as a management tool to make sure you and your staff are on the same page and you can see exactly how the business is tracking. Now, one important thing that you're able to do when you're working with a dashboard is actually visually share numbers openly in the business with your team members. What that means is for the staff working in your business that they'll be able to see exactly how the business is tracking and where things need to be improved. Now, not only is this going to allow you to have better accountability for the different areas of your business, but this will also incentivize your team members to help suggest improvements where maybe some area of the business isn't tracking so well. So a dashboard is going to help everyone be accountable to exactly what their KPIs are and to be able to show exactly everyone in the team how things are going. So next up, what are the numbers that you should track? Well, the most important thing when tracking business numbers is to make sure you're tracking the numbers that matter. Now, numbers that matter in your business are numbers that are going to move you towards a result, numbers that are linked to your goals and linked to the success of the business. It's no use tracking things like how many phone calls are coming into the business unless that's a metric of success, unless you can actually measure exactly what result you're getting from those. For example, if you're a sales organization, well, rather than the number of phone calls made, it would make more sense to measure the number of conversions in the business, or maybe the number of successful sales, or just the sales volume on any given particular day. It's important for you to track the right numbers in your business because that will allow you to attach your goals and the values of the business with the measurement and the management using the numbers. So I'm going to run through some basic examples of some different areas to track in the business if you don't know where to start on tracking numbers in the business. Now I'm going to cover off some different areas of the business so you know that you have numbers to track different departments in your business, whether they be finance, whether they be marketing, whether they be HR, and even you as an executive, as the manager of the business, knowing what numbers for you to track yourself. Now, having a look at my computer screen here, you can see I've got a really basic spreadsheet with some numbers that I've decided to start tracking. And I'm going to show you what these numbers mean and give you an example of some numbers that you might wish to track in your business. So starting off with executive, which is the area of the business for you, the business owner, this is your effectively balance sheet. So we track the total amount of cash available in the business minus the amount of bills in the business. We call this the cash minus bills. And what this is a measure of is how well the business is doing in terms of the resources available to it. Now, what the cash means is the amount of actual cash, liquid assets that you have available in the business, and all of your bills is the total of all of your liabilities. Now, for some businesses, this may be in a negative, for some businesses, this may be in a positive, but the most important thing is that we're actually tracking these numbers and what the trend is over time. You'll see here with my basic numbers management system that I'm actually tracking things weekly. So you can see on a week-to-week basis, each one of these is actually a Monday that we track the statistics. And what we're doing is we're just looking at that number every single week. Now, what's important about this is making sure that you have a consistent methodology for actually tracking these numbers. It's no good if you only track it every couple of months or if you run a report every now and again. The most important thing here is consistency and diligence. So if you need someone to help actually gathering these statistics on a regular basis, well, it might make more sense to actually delegate that to somebody else in your team if they're going to be a bit more diligent in being consistent with collecting those statistics. So let's take a look at some of the other numbers here. So we have the attraction part of our business, which is sometimes also called the marketing part of the business. Now, a good statistic to track there is how many new entries do you have on your database? Effectively, how many new leads or new prospects have become known, have known your business and therefore subscribe to receive your updates. Now, if you're an online business, you might be tracking your Instagram followers or maybe even the Facebook likes on your page, but make sure that this is a meaningful number. It doesn't really matter too much how many people visit your website. What's more important is how many people reach a conversion goal, like downloading an ebook or a free resource that you've got there. Make sure that the goals actually measure the proper output of the function of that part of the business. So if the marketing part of the business's function is to generate new leads and generate new opportunities, well, then it's probably best to track that as a statistic rather than just visits to the Facebook page or visits to the YouTube channel. So next up, we have our sales tracking. So you can see here that I have data here for sales invoiced. And this is the total amount of sales that effectively a sales team, my fictional sales team, have closed on any one week. Now, what's important here is this is measuring the result of the sales team. This is actually measuring what has this sales team actually converted into a sale and what's the number of orders that have processed. But you'll notice here on the finance screen, this is very similar, but this actually tracks the amount of income collected. So what finance is tracking is not just what's been invoiced out, but what cash has actually been collected. The result of the finance area of the business is to collect cash and actually not only just generate income, but make sure that's actually flowing into the business. So finance will be tracked on exactly how many dollars have entered the business. And so that makes sure that activities, processes like your accounts receivable, your collections, keeping customers' accounts in good order, which is the key functionality of a finance department in a business. You've got to make sure that they're doing their job, and that's why we've got this number tracking it. Next up, we have production. Now, this could be anything that you do to deliver your product or service. If you're in a service business, it's probably going to be something around the area of hours billed, or maybe number of sessions delivered to your customers. Or if you're a training business, number of training sessions delivered, or number of graduates through your training program. Whatever that is, make sure you find something that measures the output of your team, including if you've got multiple team members. You want to have an individual output for each person, and then a group output which measures the total output of that part of the business. If you're a products business, you might decide to track something different. Maybe the number of products produced if you're a manufacturing style business, or the number of products delivered to customers if you're more of a distribution style business. Next up is the training. Now, this is an interesting one. What we do here is we take our total income, which is from our finance department, and we divide that by the number of full-time staff. Now, the reason that we do this is a special one. With training, we want to measure how efficient are our staff, how competent are our staff at delivering our job. And the best way to measure that is what is our revenue per employee? What is the actual amount of money that's come into the business divided by the number of employees, and that's going to give us our revenue per employee. Now, if we invest in training, if we increase the competency of our staff, of our teams, then they're going to be more efficient at doing their jobs. They're going to be able to have more output with less people. And that's why we measure the amount of money that's come into the business divided by the number of staff, and that gives us our metric for the training area of our business to measure, well, just how well is our training going. Next up, we have the area of the business around HR and our people. Now, what we want to do here is measure, do we have the right people in the business? Are they in the right roles? Are they incentivized in their roles? Are they actually, do they have the right tools to do their job? And what we're going to measure here is what is each individual person's statistic. So if someone's working in production and they're producing widgets, well, is their statistic going up or is their statistic going down this week? And then what we'll do is we'll take the number of staff that have an uptrending statistics or the number of staff that actually are improving their score on any given.
To continue enjoying this presentation, download Bryn, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit bryn.ai or search the App Store today.